What is going on, insiders? Evan Schindler here from Inside IOST. We have a special interview for you this week. We spoke with Ray Xiao. He is the co-founder of both Bermi, using the new LOL emoji token, and IOST. So we got to speak with him about the impact that the Bermi app is having on Latin America. We also talked with him about what's going on with Binance. Does IOST have any potential of being listed there? So I hope you guys enjoy the interview. It starts a little bit abruptly because we had to record and right in the middle of the interview, but I hope you guys enjoy. Still a ton of information in here, and that's it for us.
The cast and guests of Inside IOST do not intend to convey investment or financial advice. Please do your own research before choosing to buy or sell any digital assets or cryptocurrencies.
Initially in 2018 Q2, we started the Bermi project, and it was a really simple idea where we just build a news app, ideally crypto news app, because we are basically using, cryptocurrency as a way to attract people to use it, engage with it, and so on and so forth. That was the initial social experiments that we did. We were betting on the fact that people will actually, use this app because of the, whatever incentives that cryptocurrency gives out. It was tough because the currency wasn't listed. It was, it's just a token that doesn't really have value at this time. But the good thing is that, crypto community seems to acknowledge the value, and then they're using the app like crazy, which is great. And thanks God, we're good at building apps. So we built an app that that provides a solid value for our users. People can easily read crypto news in all different publications, and basically it's a crypto news aggregator where it looks beautiful. So yeah, we did have a really strong user retention, but at this time what we realized was that most of the users are still they're still within the crypto space, so that doesn't help us to make us better than for example Bitcoin.
Right.
And our goal is really to make the space bigger, and now Bitcoin is basically is the mascot of the entire community. So in order to make something that, in order to make the space even bigger, you have to sort of go beyond the line and create something that just touches more users and really educate more people on the blockchain technology and so on and so forth. So after that, we just have to work on something that's less related with the existing crypto community, but at the same time it has to use the blockchain technology and crypto as a way to promote the blockchain technology. So that's why we built Bermi starting in 2018 Q4 at the time. And then it essentially is a video app. Initially, we built the functionality where people can watch video and earn coins, and then we quickly pivot into making people to post video in order to earn coins.
Hey Ray, when are you guys planning to roll out an iOS version or a version available for Americans for Bermi?
Right. Right now, it's primarily focusing on Latin America with Spanish, primarily the Spanish community. So it will definitely be this year, but it's probably not going to be next month. So yeah, I would say like November or December we are aiming for that. And the primary reason we didn't release them, iOS initially we had actually, but like 99% of the users in Latin America, they're Android users. So, and that happened to be our first target. So that an iOS version wasn't that of the initial priority at this time. But obviously, I'm sure more than 50% of the podcast viewer, they use iOS. So,
right, you guys did a great job of capturing a large user base in Latin America. Are you able to share any of your strategy on how you guys did that?
Yeah, it's about finding low cost traffic and make sure that it goes viral anytime you promote it. And one key factor to go viral is to just make the product super cool with strong social currency, which means that it just naturally tend to let people to share about its idea. And there are different ways to build like virality. There are just some tricks about building product and building hypes. So we try our best to do that such that people will share about this app, and then at the same time they happen to share the coins,
Right.
which is are
you guys starting to see people in Latin America, especially in like those countries you mentioned that maybe have a more volatile fiat currency, Venezuela being one example of that? Are you starting to see them use Emogi as a way to store value or use like banking services or replace their banking services?
Right, we're gradually going toward that direction. From what I'm seeing right now is that for them, holding their fiat is like holding an altcoin, right? So there is no problem by holding another altcoin with more transparency and immutability. And basically that's the thing. And like for countries like China and United States, people are more okay with holding their currency because it's so relatively stable, and cryptocurrency serves as a way for people to more or less entertain and philosophize about the future. But for a lot of countries, in my opinion, that the cryptocurrency will serve for a bigger purpose that solves their immediate problems, which is the problem that they could be having every day.
How do you see? How do you see, since this is because I think this is a massive opportunity for the IOST ecosystem to have something in place like that, especially in these countries where they have such a volatile fiat currency, giving them an alternative. How do you see Emogi as it ties back into IOST? I mean, do you think this is going to be a positive for everybody involved?
Oh, 100%. I mean, that was the initial purpose. And initially, our team is good at building consumer apps, and we have been doing that for our entire lives, like, entire professional lives, pretty much. So I would say a couple things. A is that we, I guess a couple things. A is that initial goal was really to increase the population for the IOST network, thus the entire blockchain network. The entire blockchain community. That was really the mission. And B is that it does actually provide a lot more users. And C, to answer your question, whether it's already if you're asking me if it's already like people are using it like cash, not yet. But can we reach to a level of Venmo? I'm sure, like, you guys are in the US, you guys know Venmo. If you ask me if they'll reach the level of Venmo, then I would say yes, within 18 months or 24 months, possibly, very likely. So that's what I see about the space, and yeah, I would say pretty much it.
That's cool. So I think everybody was excited to see LOL in their wallets from the airdrop. I just checked tonight and I saw.
There you go.
Yeah, so I got some LOL in my IOST wallets, so that's fantastic.
Right. I also wanted to give out more explanation why we pivot from Berm to LOL.
Yeah.
So it's the same team, same concepts. We basically just did the rebranding. This is super important because while we were building Bermi, it was fine. Most of the users understand whatever protocol, whatever technology you guys provided, they're fine with learning it. But for for Bermi, 80% of your users are they heard of Bitcoin. Probably less than 15% of users heard about Ethereum initially. So this really helped IOST to become the first smart contract platform they ever use. So that's good. And B is that it's just really challenging for them to understand the concepts of smart contract and whatever. Sorry, give me one second. So it was just really challenging for them to understand the idea of whatever protocol. So the best way is really to lower the barrier of cognition by giving them a super straightforward concept like Emogi. I think Emogi is a really strong brand. It's a brand that everyone understands what's going on. Like I use Emoji, you guys use Emoji, people in Japan uses Emoji. It's super international, super universal. It doesn't have it's an internet native asset. It originates from internet,
right.
and it's being used by people every day. It's just a very nice, concepts to be integrated with crypto, and it just makes a lot of sense, at least to me. And it really lowers the barrier for people to enter this. It'll be really funny to see on newspaper that a LOL emoji is now worth $2 or $3. So these are all like possible ways to make the space bigger, and I think it's just our duty to find out those great concepts and promote it.
Right. I think you guys have done a great job so far with it. I'm really excited about this. I don't think that there's been a dApp built on any other protocol, whether it's EOS or Ethereum, that has this much exposure to users already, working with whether it's an in-app currency or something like that. So I commend you guys on what you've done so far, and I'm very excited to see what happens. So for those of us that are already in the IOST ecosystem and we're staking our IOST, I know we're getting airdropped LOL. How does that work exactly? What is the ratio, and how long can we expect to continue receiving airdrops?
Right. If I remember correctly, it's a 5-year program for people who stake it, and we'll continuously, do the airdrop for people who stake IOST. We've already allocated that budget, so that's the budget of the entire Emoji network. This is also as a way to build our initial community, because for people who are iOS, these are the best possible. These are the best resources that we have so far, which is good. And secondly, to basically how we're gonna promote the Emoji network is that we will be building a mechanism for people to do the price realization, which is to build the consensus of the token, and also the consensus of the blockchain infrastructure itself. By saying that is that we'll create a matter that's similar to staking, such that everyone can participate and participate in that work and make profit. Basically, the key factor in blockchain space is to make profit, for every individual. It's just like Bitcoin, right? Like it unites all the profit-seeking, selfish individuals together in order to make a network that's super solid. And we're trying to do the same as well. So,
is there
really more of that information in the future?
Is there because I haven't used the app since I'm still waiting for that iOS rollout, but within the app, is there a way for people to trade the LOL tokens for other cryptocurrencies, or is there a fiat off ramp, or is that on your roadmap for Bermi?
Yeah, we will be having a fiat outlet for LOL for sure, because that's needed. I mean, we already have, but it's not as good right now. We have an outlet to PayPal, but ideally, in places like Latin America, they're still using cash. So ideally, they need kind of like an ATM machine on the app. That's kind of what they need.
Right.
I think what's really cool about blockchain is that it just makes private company able to launch their currency, which is super cool idea.
Yeah,
it's we don't need to have the hardcore tech team, but all of that, it's secure, it's safe, it's online, and which is awesome.
I saw on the roadmap for IOST that you want to have a one-click button for creating IRC20 tokens. That's really exciting to be able to just generate those quickly on the network. And I think that there'll be a lot of use cases for that.
100%.
So excited to see that. What can we do to increase adoption of Emogi, do you think? Because I think there might be a lot of people who would like to try it out and use it. So is it something that what can we do to increase adoption?
Yeah, I think I think that a podcast like this will be super helpful. And we haven't launched any marketing campaign in anywhere else in China yet. It's still in its very early phase. I will be, hopefully, and I think this is a really good concept that the entire crypto space should be able to acknowledge, which is good.
Cool.
And the reason that we use LOL is that it's also super international, right? Like everyone knows what LOL is, and it just really helps with lowering the barrier. I mean, I know it sounds like it sounds like a troll, like a joke or whatever, but what's really important is really to lower the barrier and make people understand. It's sort of similar to Dogecoin, but I think the market size for Emogi is way bigger than Dogecoin for sure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Josh,
do you guys have more questions or?
What's that, Ray?
Do you guys have more questions or?
Yeah. So I wondered, and we only have about 3 minutes left on the call here, so we'll wrap it up here pretty soon. But I just have one more question for you, which is, it doesn't look like the U.S. exchange for Binance is gonna have the IOST token. And I wondered if you knew that, and if IOST has any plans to try and do something about that, or get on to, do you think that'll change at any point in the future so that people in North America?
I mean, this will always be a gradual process, right? Like, I wasn't sure if you guys saw initially, when Coinbase, released something that they're working with a bunch of projects, and obviously there's our IOST logos on it. And did we work together? Well, yes, we obviously talked, but for the US, whatever legal compliant work that we just need to spend a bit more time on this. And I think that Binance US will be similar in the sense that it seems that it's fairly regulated, which is good. And yeah, we're in the process of developing it, so
cool.
No need to worry about it.
Well, we're really excited about the Emogi app and about all of IOST. So thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
Yeah, Ray, thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
All right, cool. Thank you.